He was just a single dad trying to live quietly, fixing cars in his old workshop at the edge of town, but that morning, everything changed when he saw her. A woman in a torn military jacket, limping across the street with a look of pure exhaustion. The moment he noticed the Marine patch on her shoulder, something inside him stirred. He knew that look, pain buried behind pride. Jake Turner, a decorated veteran and now a single father to a bright 9-year-old girl named Lily, had seen enough of war to recognize a soldier who'd lost her way. Without hesitation, he ran out from his garage and caught her before she collapsed on the pavement. She was pale, trembling, and clutching her side. "Hey, easy, you're safe now," Jake said softly as he helped her to a chair inside the garage. "I'm Jake." "You served, didn't you?" Her eyes flicked to him, sharp but weary. "Sergeant Emily Rhodes. U.S. Army." I didn't think anyone would stop." Jake smiled faintly. "Veterans look out for each other. You're not alone here." That's how it began, two broken soldiers crossing paths when both were running from their own ghosts. Jake had lost his wife 5 years ago while he was deployed overseas. Emily had been discharged after a roadside bomb tore through her convoy, leaving her with a permanent limp and memories she couldn't silence. Days turned into weeks, and Emily slowly recovered in the small apartment above Jake's garage. Lily adored her instantly, calling her Miss Soldier, and often brought her tea or little drawings of them together. Emily started helping around the workshop, cleaning tools, organizing parts, even talking to customers. For the first time in years, she felt useful again. Jake noticed the light returning to her eyes. They'd spend quiet evenings sitting on the porch, watching Lily chase fireflies. "You ever think," Emily once said, "that maybe we survive just so we can help someone else find their way back?" Jake looked at her for a long moment. "Yeah," he said. "I think that's the whole point. But peace never lasts long for people who fought too many battles." One afternoon, a black SUV rolled up in front of the garage. 6 men in suits stepped out, forming a wall around a woman in a sharp gray outfit. Emily froze. "Emily Rhodes," the woman said curtly, flashing a card. "I'm attorney Melissa Crane. We represent the Department of Defense. You're being served." Jake stood between them instinctively. "Served? For what?" The lawyer's tone was cold. "Ms. Rhodes is accused of withholding classified information from a private defense contract. She must come with us immediately." Emily's voice trembled. "That's not true. I tried to report the corruption in that contract. They silenced me." Jake's heart pounded. He could see the fear in her eyes, the same fear he'd seen in countless soldiers cornered by their own government's politics. He looked at the lawyers, then at Emily. "You're not taking her anywhere without proof," he said firmly. One of the bodyguards stepped forward, but Jake didn't flinch. The men hesitated. Maybe they saw the Marine stance, maybe they recognized the resolve in his eyes. That night, after the lawyers left with a threat to return with federal agents, Jake and Emily sat in silence. She was shaking. "Jake, I can't drag you into this. They'll ruin you too." He placed a hand on hers. "You helped me remember what it means to fight for something good. Now it's my turn to stand for you." Over the next few days, Jake dug through every document, every contact he still had from his days in service. Together, they uncovered evidence that proved Emily was telling the truth. She had discovered a weapons deal that involved bribery and forged safety reports, and when she refused to sign off, they had marked her as unstable and dishonorably discharged. Emily wanted to give up, but Jake wouldn't let her. "You're stronger than the lies they tell about you," he reminded her. When the lawyers returned with their 6 bodyguards again, they weren't expecting what awaited them: a local news crew, several veterans from Jake's unit, and copies of the evidence Jake had sent to federal investigators. The moment the cameras started rolling, Melissa Crane's confidence faltered. "Ms. Rhodes," Jake said in front of everyone, "is a soldier who bled for this country while the people behind your desk deals only cared about profit. You tried to silence her, but veterans don't stay silent when truth is at stake." The story hit the headlines that week. Veterans expose corruption in defense deal, whistleblower cleared. Emily's name was restored. She was awarded her honor back and offered a teaching position to train new recruits in tactical leadership. But the best moment came quietly, weeks later, when Lily ran into the garage, holding 2 cups of lemonade. "Daddy!" Miss Soldier says she's staying. Emily smiled, her limp lighter than before. If you'll have me. Jake looked at her, the woman who'd walked into his life broken, but who now stood stronger than ever. You already have us, he said, his voice thick with emotion. The garage lights glowed softly behind them as Lily giggled, wrapping her arms around both of them. In that moment, there were no medals, no wars, no lawyers, just three souls who had finally found home. So if you've ever lost faith in people, remember this story. Because sometimes, the battles we fight off the battlefield are the ones that truly define us. And before you scroll away, if you felt something in your heart right now, if this story reminded you of hope, kindness, or courage, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more stories that remind us what humanity really means.